everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, where anything can happen. And today is my monthly journal challenge video. But because I spent all last week sick with the sinus infection, and I'm still not over it as I record this on Sunday afternoon, I thought what I would do is give you a flashback to my very first journal with DearJulieJulie. I had not started really uploading videos last year at first, and so this journal never made it into the video forum, and people have asked about it. So as I adjust my camera here just a little bit, so I thought today this would be a good time to walk you through my very first junk journal challenge, and this was the February fabric junk journal challenge. And I instantly went with a Victorian tea kind of theme. And there you will see a couple of things in here that were not part of the challenge that were added to the journal after the challenge was over with. And I'm not going to remember what was what. Just, it's the way it is. So we're going to start with my tassel. And in the tassel, I'm going to turn it this way, so it'll help support it. These were all fibers that of colors. Maybe not necessarily the fibers themselves, but definitely colors that I used within the journal. And although I did use the fabrics and the lace and some of the ribbons, and then there was this tea charm that I made using charms that I had from Stampin' Up! From my stash. We had the teacup and saucer, the lemon wedge, the teapot, and it was time for tea. And then I've got this charm itself came as it is from Walmart, and I took some of the beads off and added in the charms. And then I've got it attached up here top with a Tim Holtz pin. This tie was from a big furry throw blanket that I got at Sam's Club several years ago, and I cut part of it down. Excuse me, I'm going to try not to do too much of that in this video. So this fabric, it's just a cream colored linen, and then I cut this fabric out and ironed it and attached it to the cover with Wonder Under, which is if you don't know, it's an adhesive backed fusible web that you iron into place. And then I had this pearl backing in my stash, and while it was an adhesive backed bling, I didn't want to just count on that adhesive holding, so I put it in place with dimensional glaze. This lace was out of my fabric, or out of my stash, and then this fabric on the spine was the same part as that went with this collection. This was one fabric in a line, and then this was the other fabric in the line. So then I have some paper clips. This was a teapot that I cut out using a die set that I got. I don't remember from where. If it's still available, I'll link it down below. And an arrowed paper clip. This fabric rose was from my stash. This was some more of that fabric from the fabric line. And I added some more. This teapot was also from a die set. And just stuff from my stash. And then I cut this heart out and made a wrapped paper clip. Now I have these in here because they keep wanting to come off the top of the journal. And then this Treasured Memories was a vellum sticker that was in my stash. This is from a We Are Memory Keeper sheet. If you've been watching Julie's channel, this is from a cut-apart sheet that she's used, and I just stuck in a ticket in there, and paper doily from Stampin' Up. All the papers in here were tea-dyed. If they've got a color to them, they were tea-dyed. This was some scrapbook paper that I had in my stash. Paper roses, and if you've not seen these before, let me know in the comments below, and I can do a video on how to do these using book pages and a scalloped punch. Doesn't even have to be a flower punch, just a scalloped circle punch. and then more of the tickets, and then the pink doilies. This was another cut apart from K & Company paper. Brought in the greens, some music paper, some handmade paper from my stash. I did not make this paper, by the way. This was paper that I purchased. Been in my stash for years. This is a scrapbook paper, but it's really slick. It's got a real smooth silk surface to it, like a calendar page does. And then there was this from a floral calendar, more of my handmade paper. This was from the back of that calendar page, or the calendar where they show you what the pictures are of all the different months. This was added another one of the die cuts, and I set the cup on the plate, and then I just trimmed it with gold stickles. And these were beads in my stash. Or my scrapbook paper. This is an envelope pocket that I made from a die from Stampin' Up! Using some of the fabric that you'll see within the book. And I didn't leave, some of this I didn't leave tucked, but this is also part of that die set. It's a retired set from Stampin' Up! From our Valentine line a 3 years ago. And I just tucked that in there. And then this slid right into this fabric tuck. This is the parchment paper from where I've laid my papers on the cookie sheet on top of the vellum to dry, and then I also get the dyed vellum to work with, or parchment to work with. More book pages. More of that scrapbook paper as a signature. Little gathered lace on the edge for a page tuck, or page edge. Here I've added some washi tape to put two of the book pages together so that the wording was right side up. I know I'm one of those people that drives me crazy if the wording's in. Doesn't bother me so much if the music paper goes sideways, but if it's book pages or pages that I want to write on, I want them going the way they're supposed to. And then that was just a brass brad. This is again where I put the fabric on the Wonder Under and glued it so that to another piece of fabric, so that stiffened that up and made a nice fabric tuck, which was one of our elements. The other side of that calendar page. This was just a card that I cut out. My tab. And I didn't make it as a tuck. I just decorated part of the page. I thought it went with the romance. These are those peony flowers, silk flowers that you can get in the store. Let me see if I can find my jar here really quick. Nope, don't have any left. But you just get them and then you take them apart. And then use the individual petals. These are almost have a velvet touch to them. And I've layered it with a paper flower from Prima. And then I added the doily to the top of that music page. Another one of those vellum words. It's just the little bitty touches. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. Simple flower glued to the corner of a tag that I stamped my postcard stamp image on the back of. More of those papers. Just to stick within the color theme. Here I used a sheet of that linen, like I used on the cover, just as a page inset. Some of that ribbon trim, I just stitched it together and put it on there as a tab. This seemed to go in with this was a scrapbook paper that fit wonderfully with this. This is some more of that another calendar pages. And this is the calendar where that square came from. I've got two different calendars represented in here. Okay, here I made a fabric envelope, and basically what I did was I took this fabric, this envelope printed fabric, and I glued it to an envelope. And then glued it to the top here, and this was before I learned about double tuck, so this is just on there flat. And then this flips, and something can go tucked into there. One of those hidden places you'd have to know to look. I loved this scrapbook paper. This challenge gave me an opportunity to really dive into my paper pads and start using them up. This one, because I had some green going in here, I left this one green. This one, I hadn't started using the sewing machine yet, so I stitched this in by hand and then glued it to place. More of that paper that I just love. This has an embossed feel to it, and I've added some green velvet that was part of one of my dresses from eons ago, and added just a strip of lace over top of, or lace ribbon over top of it. There's that calendar page again. More of that Victorian newsprint. And I've turned this into a pocket, and it has a big tag, music to my ears. It goes in there. This is another page tuck, and I love this. I'm going to try and pull this one up and keep it in frame. This is a Tim Holtz charm, and I've just added it, and then I took little rose-colored seed beads and just run them on a stick pin for there. This one, just a little bit of string sandwiched on there. Love is a warm cup of tea. This was a stamp set that was part of this stamp and die set from Stampin' Up. We're into the second page. This is a shaker card that I made. A little bit heavy, but I put it in here in the fabric pocket, so it's got some... these were from a... I don't think they're Paper Studios, but I got them at Hobby Lobby, part of their Victorian line. Then there's this fabric piece on the back of a postcard, as well as a register to shipments. This fabric is from a Tim Holtz line. That's where it's from. And then I've got this little crown on the end of the paper clip for a charm. More of my scrap fabrics. This was a paper doily. Just folded over the page here. And another pocket. This is a fabric pocket tuck. And this is one I won't get rid of because this was my very first journal. Another picture from, this is the picture that shows this calendar page on the back of the calendar sheet. Another tag with the lace. More of that bling like I've got on the front cover. Another Prima flower. Might not be Prima, but it's the same style, I guess. And I need to try and keep, that's the outside of the pocket. Some more plain papers here. Page edge with that green velvet. Made a belly band. More of the Tim Holtz fabric, and this was a lace trim that I've had in my stash for years. Added it to that. That needs a little bit more attachment there. Remember to fix that. Another one of those cutouts from K & Company. This is probably my heaviest charm in here. She dreams of faraway places and the daring adventures. And then I've got a compass and some of the beads that fit in with this. And it's just on a library clip that holds in the ticket. And this journaling card that says Cruising from a Project Life kit. And then I made this side tuck paper clip with some of the Tim Holtz fabric. And the beads want to catch on that one, so I'm not going to take it off. I'm going to leave it on there. But I made a banner piece with the Tim Holtz fabric. This was just a Forever and Always. Another one of those vellum pieces. And that was my very first ever February fabric junk journal challenge with Dear Julie Julie. This was February of 2019. And I will have this, like I said, this is one of my permanent collections. So I will add it back to the shelf. I'm not sure if there's going to be a 10-minute Tuesday card tomorrow. This is Sunday, and I'm still having to take my time and test the waters as to how much I can do. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I know that I was supposed to have announced the winner to my how many pieces of paper do you think were in my paper pad my paper shopping haul last week. I was supposed to announce that on Friday, and I was under the weather, so I will be announcing that probably this Friday. And I will tell you, I only had one guess, and she was from Instagram. So you need to remember when you're watching my videos, sometimes you might want to click on my blog post and my blog link down below and check and see if anything's been added. Because when I do a YouTube video, I put that video on the appropriate day on my blog channel too. So you're going to want to watch and make sure that something that gets put on my blog may not be in the video, but it may be a bonus that you don't want to miss. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. I hope you liked this video. Remember to subscribe. We will be back on Saturday with Shout Out Saturday. So you want to make sure that you subscribe and that you get all notifications so that you don't miss when new videos go up. Thanks for your patience all last week. Thank you for joining me in the studio today, and creative blessings.